Me and Steven doing some over-the-shoulder looks at results pages. So definitely something we've done in the past, kind of what we built this community around initially was just showing off how exactly we were having success with print on demand. So getting back to that a little bit, but really what we're trying to show you guys is how we're leveraging Amazon, not only where we would put the shirts or listings that we're creating, but what we would be putting there, taking the information that Amazon is giving us of what the customers want and using that. The first thing I think we should do is kind of cover our bases, and so we should talk about our 5-step test. Let's go ahead and jump into this first rule, which is we want to make sure that whatever we're typing into Amazon actually autofills, and that means going to Amazon, typing in their search bar, and making sure that it auto-completes whatever we are typing in, because that represents that customers are actually going there.
We like to just go to Amazon and see what Amazon is saying. Is Amazon auto-completing this? That it's at least a good sign that other customers are searching that same thing.
The second rule that we have for our 5-step test is that they have similar product types. So similar product types and similar competition that we're going against.
Yeah, and it's not just t-shirts. Whatever product that you're planning on selling, just make sure that when you're doing market research, that product is showing up and that customers are actually purchasing it. Right. To save yourself a lot of time.
The third rule that we have is that we want to see fewer results. We've changed this rule up quite a bit over the years, but fewer results is what we're sticking with now because that means that there's less competition there.
We've tested out different numbers. We found that it's very hard to set a number here because people kind of get stuck on that number and don't start testing the market. And the true test is for you to actually put something in the market and see if it works for you. Just know that less results is less competition.
Yeah, and a lot of this changing of our 5-step test has to do with us keeping up with Amazon. The way they handle data is much different than 3 years ago, the way that they were handling data back then. So again, just trying to keep it relevant here in the new year. But the fourth rule that we have is we want you guys to look at BSRs because those will represent the sales that are happening on the page. And that's very important when deciding where and what to put a listing.
If you're going somewhere in their sales, you have a higher chance of actually selling something. Also, you just want to, like Nathaniel touched on the Goldilocks zone, you want to stay within a certain range. Otherwise, you're going to go too far down where there are possibly some sales, but not enough to justify you putting your time, energy, and effort to make that product.
And the last step that we have, step 5, is that we want less than 1 million BSR. And that's that best sellers rank, but that represents that our monthly sales happening there. And that's just due to the type of products that we're selling. A monthly sale is usually pretty good.
But we want to see that there's some products with less than 1 million BSR because those normally mean that they're selling multiple times a month. Not always a guarantee, but it's just a guideline to look at. If we are going to put our time, energy, and effort into something, we'd like it to sell more than just once a month. Your business could be different. That's what we try to look for when we put the time in to start testing our products.
Now, our full disclaimer is that there's a lot of nuance inside of this business as well. So like we said, we used to try to give exact numbers and exactly what you're looking for, even the way like titles are written and everything. But what we've learned over the years is that what works for us in our business is different for other people, like Steven said directly. So know that this is our 5-step test, but as again, Steven said, these are not rules that you have to follow. They're not written in stone, but it's just our suggestion for doing this thing for almost 4 years now of what we found accurate and that can help us speed up our time. But as it's unfair to just be like, okay, do this for 3 years and you'll know as much as us. We want to give you guys some
That should be my advice from now on. Just keep doing it for 3 years and then you'll figure it out.
Yeah, we want to give you guys some baseline things to look at, to understand. And so the best way that me and Steven think that we can do that is just by going over the shoulder and showing you guys, here are some things that we're seeing when we look at this page from all of our experience put together. So yeah, let's, I think, go ahead and jump into that. I think enough disclaimers and talking about it. Let's actually just jump in and do it. These 3 shirts on the top are very similar. 2 of them are exactly the same, and one of them has the funniest change to me that I have seen in a while. The thumbnail, like not even the art, just like the thickness of the lines and the coloring is changed a little bit. Like the color for the text is changed, but also just like that hand.
I think it's a whole nother fist, isn't it? Because this one doesn't have the lines. It's almost like when you were younger, you had one of these things is different.
Yeah, right? Like there are some differences.
Small, yeah. This one definitely has thicker lines.
So minute. So this is the level of which some people test these shirts. And funny enough, we have found small little differences like this do actually, yeah, they make a difference. So when someone's asking us, how do I split test, and all the stuff that we'll cover later on, we've covered in depth in the past. But I just wanted to point this out because I don't know, it's just funny to me that it's like the fingernails on this person's hand that are like changed just slightly, not even the color, just like the hand artwork itself is changed just a little bit. But that's the level of which they're testing things. Can you scroll down and can we see the BSR? Have either of
these
sold?
are sponsored ads.
Okay, so look, there's differences in all three of these price points. So I'm sure the first one and the third one have some different keywords that are thrown in there, so that's why their BSR is different. But the middle one, or the second one and the first one also have differences in the artwork, and that's why oh wow, the third one's art is actually different as well. Sorry, I'm completely nerding out. But just the level of
well, I only know this because we were just looking over the visual aid that we were creating. This one has that like effect. I don't know.
It has an effect, and the lines behind it's called the weather effect.
Weather effect.
And the lines behind the fist are like slightly thicker. So it's just so funny, like the tiny little differences. But clearly you can see that they make a big difference in the sales velocity that they're having. So that was completely rabbit trail. If you're not ready for all that like minute stuff, that's fine. But if you're watching this call kind of knowing that you know most of this information, like some of you guys on YouTube have indicated, this is something that you can pick up on, like just the crazy amount of like little things that you can change about your shirt to see if you can get different sales. That third one, selling at $1 million is probably like once or twice a month, and that first one is probably selling once or twice a week, and that can be a big difference, in sales velocity. So just funny to see how crazy minute you can make these changes. I'm glad that they did have BSRs, and it wasn't just me like picking up on this random split testing, but this guy is, and look at all the different versions he has here. Yeah, so just very interesting. Like he's figured out what these customers want, and now he's doing like the super fine tuning of like exactly what these customers want. But that is the beauty of print on demand. You get to just keep tweaking things, and if you found something that works, like even making small little changes like this, and notice he's not just using one listing and trying to change it over and over again. He's making new listings, even putting up super similar art, and trying to figure out what's working, what these customers are going to scroll through, stop on, and actually purchase. So I do apologize. That was a complete art rant, but just really fascinating for me to see someone else doing it to that much of a
fine
level. Detail.
Yeah, when we talk about doubling down, people are always concerned like how similar should I make this? And I say, like, if you're not an artist like me, even changing up small colors, like you see how this one has that lighter color and this one has a darker color, that's still a difference. That's still another way to double down and test. And like Nathaniel pointed out, there's all kinds of small tweaks in here and changes, but find a place, test the market. Once it starts working, double down and find more success. This is a perfect example of this. I don't know how many times we run into this where it's this small of changes having this much additional sales velocity.
And this is like a lot of the answers that we give, whether it's during the week or on this call, is like try both. And this guy is clearly trying both, and he's leaving both of them there. Like he's got how many variations of the same type of art, and they're all selling to some degree. So not only does he have one that's selling like every week and every month, but he's got like everything in between as well, which is just fascinating. I love seeing our advice at work. I don't know if this person watches our show or even knows who we are, but this is the type of thing that we're trying to show you guys without directly showing you what we're doing. This is just something we stumbled upon, and you can see how many shirts he has, and a lot of them have BSR. I think I've seen one so far that hasn't had sales on it.
And there's no way to truly tell if it's the same person, but I would say there's a high likelihood that most of those shirts are the same person.
Because the changes of the art is so minute. Like you'd have to have access, not have to, but it's a lot easier if you have access to the actual art files to make those small changes instead of like recreating, or like a bunch of people recreating it.
But it goes into that, like, find what the customers want and give it to them. Don't overcomplicate this. Like, this might be his too, and this one's really working. And you can see the price he's pushing the price up.
Yeah, under 100,000 BSR and reviews on it, which is a hard thing to do with print on demand, is get reviews. So like, this is all very impressive. Good job, guy, whoever you are.
I do think it's worth like harping on those points, because I think a lot of stuff that we say is I'm sorry, that might be too fast, but a lot of similar advice. Like, there are foundational pieces that you need and understanding, but after that, then it's like testing and tweaking and trying. The more we help people, starting to see like it's not a science, but it is an art form. Like with a science, like you would just put these two things together and this is the result. Like it doesn't ever truly work like that, but there are some things that you can look at, like our validation test, to help you save time. And that's really what we're trying to help you guys with, is save time, find success, and then continue to grow and scale off that success. POD is a scaling business model. Once you build the asset and you're making small tweaks like that, it's not the same amount of time that it took to find, do all that market research, gather the keywords, create the art. I'll ask you, brother, if you had to make 100 of those variations, how long would it take if all you're doing is just changing out that hand?
Again, it depends on the artwork a little bit, but as long as you knew that that's the direction that you were going to head, not very long. It's literally like clicking on something, changing the stroke on it, which is like scrolling up on your mouse, saving it, and uploading that again, or changing a color, like clicking on it, changing a new color, and then saving it and exporting it. So, as long as you've created the file in a way that allows you to do that kind of thing, then not very long at all.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, is just you do a lot of work in the beginning to find success, but once you have that success, double down, test out a whole bunch of different things. We don't know every marketplace, otherwise we'd be going after it and not talking to anybody. As we've helped people, there are certain niches that we've gone after and hammered, just like continue to go after, because we know people in that market are willing to spend money, willing to buy products. We just can't break into it. We will help somebody else that's trying to go after the same market, and then they will have success and crush it. And we are like, we're doing the same things that we're telling you to do, and we just can't figure this out. And it's vice versa. Sometimes we tell people, hey, this is the advice, this is what's working for us, then it doesn't work for them. Everybody's skill level is different, their understanding is different, and what the market wants varies so wildly that we can only see what's there, leverage Amazon to help us, but ultimately the tweak or the different change or the test that you run and really take off, that's what the customers are truly looking for. We don't know that until we put products out into the market. And that's why I know we haven't said this in a while, but just test, get that stuff to market as soon and as quick as possible. Figure out what the market wants, see what's working, and then double down from that. That is how you can really scale and grow your print on demand business. Because imagine that guy has it just on shirts. If he put it on tank tops, put it on hoodies, put it on other apparel inside Merch's ecosystem, and then really tweaked it and said, hey, this is the one that really works. Let's now put it on a coffee mug. Oh, let's put it on just a plethora of other products. Take it away from Amazon. That's really what we'd like to show you guys and grow and scale a business. But like I said, we've gotten a lot of questions of just how to start. We wanted to boil it back down to this is what we do. We look at the page. We're really trying to find those things that autocomplete. We want to see less results. Then we want to just look over the page. Are these things selling? And then what, from a art standpoint, should we be pulling out of this and then using in our listing?
We know that we have some people who've been watching us for a while, so like even these little details that we're seeing and stuff that jumps out at me and Steven, I guess with that information, that doesn't mean, again, that we're just like using that art exactly and going and creating that for ourselves and making our own little tweak to it and putting it up there, but it's just to show you guys what is possible. So you make those first couple of listings trying to figure out the market. When you have sales, then that doubling down piece is so impactful, because that one sale doesn't mean that you just had one product sell. It means that you've found kind of the pathway that customers are taking, and you've made an image that the customers actually like. So taking that information and really expanding it from there, even from the little color changes, the little artwork changes, and like Steven said, then moving it to other products, other platforms. Like one piece of artwork can really explode for you guys, and that's just proof that it works right there as we stumbled upon tonight. So just
I
really
really
cool.
like doing this. I guess if you guys want us to go after a niche or look at a niche and just give our opinion on the results page, put that in the comments below. We'll start maybe making this a reoccurring theme or segment. We will look over the results page and just give you our 2 cents on the matter. I know that's something that you kind of offered in the past, is doing those account audits. I know time is tight with all the stuff that we're trying to do. I know you're trying to find 20 minutes in your day to help more people. I guess if you're new to us, we like to jump on calls with people. That's really what we love to do, is help people more one-on-one. Our business is tight with all the time that we have to put into different things. But we want to be able to offer those calls again. Nathaniel's offering, I was going to say special, but he's trying to cut out times of his day to be able to help people. We love answering questions. The question of the week comes from one of those people reaching out to us. We've I don't know if you jumped on a call with them or not, but it's the same concept. If you jump on a 20-minute call with us, we can help you with small issues, problems. We know people get frustrated and run into walls, and you need like personal advice. This is what Nathaniel's setting that time aside for. So if you have a problem, or if you're getting stuck somewhere, reach out to Nathaniel. I think we'll put a link in the description below. I don't know exactly how you have that. Do you have a calendar link set up for that now?
Yeah, you guys see that he's saying we are trying to help
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing over here.
And by we, I mean
and Nathaniel's schedule is very busy, but he's trying to find time. No, but I really, really do enjoy this, and this is something that I want to make a priority in my business, not only because I like the relationship part of this business and interacting with you guys, but it's just such a like unique amount of information that I have about a specific thing that it feels good to kind of like exercise those muscles. And even tonight, like just picking up on that one little thing and going on a tangent, I hope that information is helpful, but I feel like I'm able to do that as well, helping you guys out. So whether it's a wall that you've run into, or something you want to talk about, whether it's the fundraising ideas that I brought up 2 weeks in a row now, or this new direction that we are talking about, again, not new, I guess. It's a topic that we're bringing up again, which is the organic search. Like if that's something you guys need help with, if you want me to just look at some of the listings that you've done, I'm more than happy to cover all of that in a 20-minute call and try to make it concise, as long as you guys can indicate on the link that Stephen will post, what you're contacting me with, because now we're covering a lot of different things. It keeps getting added, which is fine. It's cool. But I just want to make sure that I am mentally prepared to talk with you guys and give you the best advice that I can. So it is, again, 20 minutes for $20. We're just trying to make concise calls, but customized, and your wingman trying to help you exactly where you're at. That's what we started this whole thing on. That's what I want to continue to do, and just trying to find the time to do that. But that's my little plug for that. I was almost going to say what Steven's forcing me to do, but he's not. He's just heavily encouraging me to do that.
You could say force this.
I
know people want these calls, and I know the time is tight. Somebody got to do this. We should really do this.